Yeah, call the
Let's go live.
police. That
Let's go
person is
live.
capable of dangerous things. Call the police, yo.
All right, you want me to do the intro?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Bacchanal Podcast. I am one of your hosts, K to the C, alongside.
It's your boy Keel. I'm out here in North Carolina. We got special guests in the building. We do. Rapper, actor, songwriter. What else do you do? You do a lot of gamer, anime fan, lover of Zorro.
Oh, for sure. I used to love Zorro, bro.
we got Kyle. Is it Super Duper Kyle or are we getting R&B Kyle today?
It's whatever one y'all want. Super Duper Kyle. Let's just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. So how you living, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm living good. You know, enjoying
nice.
every day. You feel me? Just going out.
Yeah.
I'm doing that real wholesome activities. You feel me? Just going on walks with coffee and shit like that. You know,
that's my shit. I go right down here. They got a nice little forest area. Take the coffee and I just walk down there. It's nice, and it feels like I'm in the woods and like nowhere's around me. But it does have the 404. That's one of the biggest 401s right there. So if I go too far, I see real life. But when I stay in the nice little area, it's a dope feeling. It's a dope vibe.
It's fire. Yeah, man. You need that.
So
exactly.
Let folks know what the Bacchanal is, what we about before we jump into
Yeah, man, I gotta explain because like the other day, my Alsalvian boy was like asking me, "What is Bacchanal? What does that mean?" You know, it's the time-stopping moment. It's the eyebrow-popping moment. It's the Caribbean word, Trinidadian word. It started off, meaning like the party moment, the high point of the moment. But we strive to make the high point of the conversation, the time-stopping moments. You know what I mean? So that's what the Bacchanal means to us. We're Trinidadian Canadians, and we stand on that. We rep Trinidad. Jamaicans been making enough noise. It's about time Trinidadians make some noise too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stand on that, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got to stand on that.
It's a time. Humble is nice, but it's a time. There's a time when you got to talk your shit. You know what I mean? You got to tell people who you are and be proud of what you've done and where you came from. So that's what we're on. That's the energy and vibration I'm on.
That's fire. I want to go to Trinidad. I feel like I want to check it out.
You haven't went to Caribbean or Carnival?
I haven't been to Carnival. I've been in the Caribbean, but I've never been to like the Caribbean, like Trinidad or like you know what I'm saying, Jamaica. So I went to Turks and Caicos. Different vibe. Different vibe.
You gotta go to Dominican. You gotta go to you gotta try to want to get some plantinos, some plantain chips. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, the DR or something. That'd be fire.
Yeah. Akil, you got any questions? You want to start this off?
Plenty of questions, man.
Let's get it.
This is one that the fans want to know. This is a hard-hitting question. Hope you're ready for this.
Okay.
The word on the street is you're a big Skyrim fan.
Oh yes. What
is the starting class that you use when you play Skyrim?
Oh well, me, I'm selfish and I like to really role play, so I'm red guard every time. But
thank you.
Yeah, every time. No shame in that. I don't care. My brother used to tell me, like, man, Carl, it's messed up. You're only picking black people. I was like, bro, I'm being a red guard every time.
Exactly.
And honestly, I'm not just a Skyrim fan. I'm an Elder Scrolls fan, like across the board. You know what I mean? So I first started playing Elder Scrolls with Morrowind.
Yeah,
on
man.
Xbox.
Everybody started with Morrowind, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into that one. Akil was playing that one time in my house, and I was like, no, this is too slow. I can't do it. But Skyrim hit me. Skyrim is classic. That hit me.
Because Skyrim, that's just them peaking at like their dopest. But I remember, I first found Morrowind because I went to my like GameStop, and the dude there was like low key, almost like your barista or your barber or somebody you got a personal connection with, right? And he used to sell me all my games, and I told him like, man, I really used to love Baldur's Gate. Like I love RPGs, like swords and dragons and whatnot. And he was like, I got just this thing. And he handed me Morrowind. And I was like,
he's like, say less, fam.
Yeah, say less. Handed me Morrowind. And I didn't know what to think about it at first. But then when I played that game, like my first playthrough of that game was arguably maybe one of the most impactful playthroughs I've ever had. Like I was like, damn, this world, this universe, even the books, you can pick up the books and read about shit that happened in the previous games. You know what I mean? Like, and I really got lost in that thing. I would play it like day and night for like a whole year, bruh. And when I finally beat that, I was like,
that game, man, it was affecting like my personal life. I was in grad school, and it was affecting like my grades. I was like, yo, I gotta put down Skyrim, man.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me with Baldur's Gate 3 right now. I should have never bought that game, man. It's a time killer, man. I was playing it, and I didn't know that it had so many options for spells and for character dynamics. Each character is interesting. They could be their own, like their stories are better than some of these other video game storylines. Like just the one single character, and there are like 60 characters. So it's like, man, I gotta like put a timer on and play that, and then turn it off because it's a time sucker for sure.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate is great, but shout out Elder Scrolls. Every time they drop, they win Game of the Year, undefeated, like for the past 3 games. Except, so I'm not really that big of an Elder Scrolls Online kind of dude, but too much. But I hope they come out with a new, like, actual game like Skyrim or something. Like,
it's in the works, man. It's going to be a Xbox exclusive, though, so that's the one caveat to it.
Yeah, keep both of them on deck, bro. You gotta keep both of them on deck.
That's a brokey problem right there. Yeah, man. I gotta ask you about fighting games though. Street Fighter or Smash Brothers? Which one you going? Ooh. Yeah.
I'ma say for the sheer like playability with hella people, if I'm thinking about like
you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. If I'm thinking about being like
shit.
No. If I'm thinking about like being like 10 years old and it's like a sleepover and we all are about to play this game and have a good time, I'm going Smash Bros. Every day of the week. There's just more things to do in there, and I feel like Street Fighter is probably more competitive. Like I'm better than you because
you can get more complex. Yeah,
exactly. But I think Smash Bros is just overall more entertaining game.
It's a fun time.
It's a fun time, bro. Like put 8 of us in there and let's just go crazy. Like you can't do that.
I get that. Yeah. Street Fighter is an intense one. Those are both 2 top tiers though, so any choice would have been a good one. We got a message there.
Yeah,
Donald Collis. Killer Instinct. Yeah, that's good. Tekken. Soul Calibur is a slept on classic right there. Soul Calibur always comes correct. I love Soul Calibur.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually haven't something to admit. I've never played Soul Calibur ever.
Okay. I played it on I think it was the Dreamcast and Xbox One. The stages were great on that, where you could like knock someone off the stage and then you'd fly into a whole different area. Like it had real cool, and you could actually like make the stages different. They had real cool options like that.
Wow.
So that was, it's a really, really good game. It's a fun game.
Okay, I'm a peep. I'm gonna check it out.
Now, Kyle, what ODB song was it that got you into rap?
Man, I remember. I'll never forget this day. It was I was riding with my dad, and then all of a sudden, I just heard, "Hey, dirty, and baby, I got the money. Don't you worry." I said, "Hey," and I just heard him rapping and shit, and I was like, "Wow. This is so fire," because I didn't really listen to a whole ton of rap music like that. And I heard that and was just like, nah, this is too fire. And then it kind of made me want to rap, but very silly, because that was like my first introduction to rapping was ODB. And I was like, and all my raps after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you go back and listen to his other hits? Like shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, hey.
I did.
I
did, but I didn't really listen. I didn't really go back and do a deep dive on like ODB or Wu-Tang or really like East Coast rap in general like that until like later when I was like 8th grade, like 9th grade. But I just remember that song being the first one that just like showed me rap songs, And then after that, I kind of started paying attention to more of what was on the radio and just being out here in LA, like you just get Tupac to death. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, that's what I was really listening to was just like Tupac, Snoop Dogg, like Dr. Dre. And then as I started like kind of like getting into rap music myself, all of my favorite rappers became like East Coast rappers. It was like Jadakiss, Big L, and like Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Bars.
Yeah, all of that. And then I started going back and like, oh yeah, this was like the first rap song I listened to is ODB, and I started listening to Brooklyn Zoo and shit like that. And
yeah, shame on you.
yeah,
You came through. Yeah.
Now you knew nothing before you knew a whole fucking lot. Your ass don't want to get shot. A lot of MCs came to my show down and watched me put your ass low down as you can go. I started like going in.
So what inspired your song? Is that what kind of inspired your song structure style? Was the radio style, like the hook, bars,
Definitely.
bars?
I would say what inspired my songwriting style was for sure just the amount of radio music I listened to, because it wasn't even all rap. Like at first, as a little kid, I primarily listened to rock music because my mom, I was always with my mom, and she always had like K-Rock on. So even that kind of rock music I was listening to was very structured for the radio. You know, it was like hits. Yeah. And all they listened to was the radio. And then I'd hang out with like my grandparents, and they were like, you know, two older white like people. So they were just listening to like KRS 101, you know, like oldies and shit.
Yeah.
If you wanna know if he loves you so, sing it. Like all that shit.
Dun,
you know?
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
The hooks.
The catchy shit. Exactly. Yeah. And then when I finally started listening to rap music, like it was more of the same. It was just, I think, I get a lot of my like songwriting structure from the fact that I listen to the radio and other genres of the radio. Like rock music hits are structured different than rap ones. And all these hits are structured different than rock hits. But you kind of get a good blend of like all of them.
How do you feel about the change of how it is now with the streaming market and these 2-minute songs instead of these lived through 5-minute records?
Experiences.
Yeah.
Man, you know what it is? I kind of feel it's like, it's similar. It's just our attention spans have shrunk, which, I mean, Jesus, of course they have. You know what I'm saying? Like so when they were making those songs, back then they had like a TV they had to drive home to look at to find out what else was going on, you know? Everything for real. Like they didn't have video games, all this shit. So they had a lot bigger attention span. So you needed a 5-minute song to really be entertained. But now you can actually get that same thing across in 2 minutes. And it's almost like if you can get off a 6-minute song that keeps people entertained, sick. But if not, it's more of a risk than it is a reward. Like, I'm not going to clap for you because your song is 6 minutes and I like it. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
So if your song is 2 minutes and I hate it, then it just makes it even whacker than the song that's 6 minutes and I hate it. You know? Like, that's the only difference. I
absolutely love the 6-minute song like Kanye, Devil in a Red Dress, where the guitars are going off and the sounds you're hearing, everything gets a moment to shine. You know what I mean? I personally love that. But when it misses, because then it's like, yo, I've been here for 6 minutes, 10 minutes listening to the song. It's still going, you know? So that is
so
the problem.
Where's the part where this shit is hard? Okay? Because I've been here. Yeah. No, it changed it a little bit.
Back to the early days in Skid Row, in the apartment, no AC. You're in an apartment with Chance the Rapper, Kalani. And to me, it seems like you're living up to that name. Kid, Kyle is determined, because I feel like you have to be determined in that type of situation.
Bruh, it was treacherous, man. It was treacherous, man. First, like, because I was originally from the Valley, but then I moved to Ventura, right? So I grew up kind of in Ventura, which is like an hour away from LA. Beach town, beautiful, nice, beautiful little beach town, right? And so when I moved back to LA to start like trying to go for it in music, I moved in with this dude, DJ Carnage, who is actually called Gordo now. You might know him as Gordo. He produced like a lot of that Honestly Nevermind Drake record, and he's like very cracking now as a DJ. But when I first moved there, me, him, my manager, and one other singer, it was 4 of us. We were roommates in one apartment on Skid Row, bro. I can't lie to you. Like Skid Row, like 7th and San Pedro, like real. Like I opened my door one time. This is graphic, and took my first step out into the new day, bro. Just first step, and stepped in real man poop, like man poop. You know what I'm saying? It's not a dog. It's not a cat, bro. It's not an animal. This is a human. Like And I seen dude that did it, like walking away.
That's what to say. He looked back and he's like, "Hey man, shit happens." He looked back and you're like, "Well, it's my bad, dog."
Yeah, that's actually really good. No, seriously, that's basically what he was saying. Hey man, shit happens. So, like, man, I used to see some crazy shit over there. And the thing is, Chance the Rapper and Kehlani didn't live there. They were just nice enough to pull up. No, they never lived. That was that's something that one of these fucking dudes said on YouTube. But they were my friends at the time, and they were just like down to earth enough to come pull up over at my crib and kick it and make songs and shit. But they can tell you, like, that was a rough part of town, bro. At one point, this other thing would happen too, where we would always, because there was like one door in and one door out, right? And in downtown, there's no your car is never safe. Like you're always in chance of getting a parking ticket. So we'd have to go down and like change the meter, move our cars all the time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'd leave that door unlocked because it's like 5 seconds, you know? And we'd come back into our apartment and there would just be a person in there, right? Like straight up just zombified. Like
it's like the dude from Martin.
Bruh, zoink. Yeah, just on our couch. Can't talk, can't understand shit.
Yeah.
And you're trying to like corral him out the crib, like, hey, come this way. You know, like
Walking Dead, bruh.
I done seen some wild shit in there before, man.
It sounds a little bit like Brooklyn in like in the early 2000s. Like,
yeah,
just the shit on the sidewalks and the randomness happening. It sounds very similar to Brooklyn.
Randomness, just real crack everywhere. And the funniest thing is I was making the happiest songs. Like
your vibration was still different. Yeah.
Bro, the vibration was up. And I think I will give a lot of credit to Skid Row and my time being spent there because I feel like I was surrounded by people living with less than the bare minimum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet, for all the wild shit I saw, all the screaming, all the fights, all the crazy shit, all the man poop, I would sometimes see really happy, little joyous moments of that homeless community. And it would inspire some of the songs. I remember I wrote a line one time that said, there's no need to fix me. I'm broke, but I'm not broken. If being poor is such a chore, it's hard to notice. And I like was thinking about that because I was just watching people like dead broke, not broken. You know what I'm saying? High-fiving each other, smiling and shit, telling jokes. Like, and a little bit of that was inspiring because I was like, man, if I was right here, y'all, I don't know how y'all are up this early with this much energy. Like, I would be fucking pissed off. So yeah, that time it was crazy though. Skid Row, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of creating? Is it the acting, the singing, the rapping, the performing? You know what I mean? What's your favorite element of it?
I would. That's really good. I would say,
studio, hard. Writing in the studio, creating magic with other creators. You know what I mean?
I would say, I would say my favorite. It's a complete like two like they're tied kind of for first place, and one of them is making a song. Like I say this all the time. I don't know a better feeling while I've been alive on this earth, and I've done a lot of shit. I don't know a better feeling than making a fire song, like a song that is so hard. That one song being fire might fill my cup up for 6 months, and sometimes the song is so fire that it fills my cup up for years.
Do you know what's fire from when you're in the studio and you just hit done? Or do you feel it later when the vibration hits the people?
Nah, I can tell when that shit is hard. Like,
that's dope. That's
right then and there. And then also sometimes I can tell when it might be this hard, but I'm going to just big this up so I can leave happy. Because I've also never felt a worse feeling than making a really bad song. That is the lowest point of my life. But then I would also say, like, when I do a live show and I've built out the stage and everything is like a world on stage and the crowd is going nuts, there might not be a better feeling than that.
I was going to say that might be the one right there, doing performances and seeing that thunder of people just clapping and going off. Like, that's amazing.
The only thing is that one leaves a little quicker than making that really fire song. You know, because you literally leave them and the feeling's gone, but I can go back and play that song and be like, I'm so fire. How the fuck did I do that? You know, like, so I would say, it's between those two.
Yeah.
I got a follow-up question. So 2013, that's when you started your rap journey. Was that when you first listened to Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon? Is that what inspired you to, start going hard with this craft?
Yeah. So 2013 is when I dropped like my first project that like really connected, that's like the first time like shit started like kind of popping for me with this project I dropped called Beautiful Loser. But really my journey to there kind of started earlier than that, from like 2009 in like ninth grade or eighth grade or whenever that was, and kind of putting out these series of mixtapes and really trying to discover what I was going to be about and who I was as like an artist. And listening to Man on the Moon, End of Day was super huge for me during that moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trying to become Super Duper Kyle, which happened through a lot of different artists. I give a credit to a lot of artists I was listening to. Big Sean, Drake, Kanye, Wiz Khalifa, Dom Kennedy, all types of people. But End of Day for me really showed me how like free you could be with music, and then how impactful you could actually be on people emotionally by talking about subjects that maybe like stir that up in yourself, and then coming up with a good solution. Because End of Day had solutions. It had problems and it had solutions. Like, you know what I mean? Like it had a light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling. And I feel like I grasped onto that in my like personal life. And then I was able to go and decide, okay, Kyle, like, how are you going to help people? This album you've been playing for all these years helped you. How are you going to help somebody else? Or are you just going to rap about having a bunch of material shit, Or are you going to try and rap about like issues in your life and how you overcome them? And then kids can listen to it and do the same and be like, that helped me. And so, End of Day, Man on the Moon, like helped a lot. But that was like 2009, 2010 till Beautiful Loser came out in like 2013.
Now, do you feel like you're stigmatized when people refer to you as the happiest rapper? They're like, Kyle's the happiest rapper. Happy Kyle.
It's funny. I feel like not stigmatized, or maybe it is stigmatized. I don't really, I'm like, ironically, I'm good with words, but I'm not that good with words. But I feel like, it's like there's a little bit of a stigma there, but at the same time, for people who listen to my music, I feel like the majority of my fans know, this motherfucker be making, sorry for saying bad words, this dude be making hella sad songs, like, or not sad songs, but just emotional songs. Like, so the happy rapper is just the version of mine that I feel like is most consumed. So people are going to see me the most as that, but there's so many more layers to that. And I don't mind the title, because being happy is lit. Nobody's going to convince me. Nobody's going to convince me that being happy is corny. It just will never happen. I'm too smart for that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and you don't ever want to get caught in a box either, and you're not going to allow yourself to be put in a box musically. So
exactly. Yeah. And it's funny. I feel like we don't even think about this enough. How like kind of in hip hop and all that, like in a lot of things that are our culture that we own, like being in good spirits is kind of lame.
Yeah, and it's promoted as lame. It is.
It's promoted as lame. Yeah. And if you think about that, I'm not like a conspiracy theorist at all, but I'm just putting this out there.
Oh, right? I am, Kyle. I am.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, you guys will chew on this and like, you know what I mean? Think about it. But not saying there is the powers that be that want to see people who look like you and me do worse. But if there was, right, you would think about how much of an advantage it would be for said party of people if you being happy was considered lame. Think about that. Think about how much easier it would be to put you at a disadvantage if just being happy and like joyous, you know what I'm saying, and docile and all these nice things was considered whack. Yeah. It is so much easier to torch you. Like, so just keep that in mind, y'all.
I think with hip hop though, we evolved from this time where the mobster movies were big. Wrestling was like more racist, kind of. Like it was more edgy. Like things were way more edgy that time, that 90s time, 80s time, and we're slowly getting out of that toxic time. You know what I mean? So like the raps that we hear now are still evolved from the guys talking about selling drugs, doing gangster shit. And it's good to see that there's more positive vibrations coming out of the music, getting the shine that it deserves.
Yeah. One of my biggest influences when I first started like kind of like doing like really writing raps and trying to like, I went through like a real like Fresh Prince phase, right? And so then I went through like a real like early 80s, late 80s rapper phase, like Queen Latifah and Salt and Pepper and Big Daddy Kane and like
UNITY,
all of that shit. And I realized, and then at the time, this is like probably like 2009, 2010, and I'm like, oh damn, or 2008, like right before that, and I was like, damn, there's so much like crazy dark like hip hop, and I was like, oh, this shit kind of started off as this like super bright fight to power kind of like y'all aren't gonna break our spirits movement,
destruction. Like it was you realize it was always there, but it was just covered by the industry trying to commercial out this other stuff.
Exactly.
But it was always there.
Yeah, and that kind of like motivated me to like, oh, like Kyle, they finna call you corny for sure. Just keep it going, because remember that the roots of this whole shit that y'all are all participating in started like this, and then I just got a picture of like them and what I mean, and cross colors and shit, trying to be like, trying to fight the man in like a positive way.
Right, like LL Cool J. You listen to LL, he was talking positive love stuff. You listen to Slick Rick, he was telling stories and talking about real things that are happening, but the ending message was like, do right or else you'll get led down this negative road, which is not good. It's always been there. And there's always albums where an artist will have, even though like a 50 Cent has like the gangster talking about all the street shit. At the end of the album, you'll hear a song where it's like, God give me love, God give me grace.
That song is so fire.
Right? But it's there. It's
on
my face, right? God put this smile up on my face. Like, it's there. It's there. It's just you go for it as a consumer. You got to go out and actually put the work in. But like Tribe Called Quest has always been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
De La Soul has always been there. So it's good to see that people are seeing that more though.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I
look at these comments real quick, y'all.
Yep.
Kyle's getting a lot of love on here. Super Duper Kyle, love you, homie.
What up, Alex? Love you too, man. Let's go.
Smile was a goated album on God.
No, you're right. Smile was a goated album, yeah. Thank you.
People will find a way to break someone down. It's all about love. That is true. That is
exactly.
True. We love that, Donald.
And it just says positive music is up next.
Yep.
Absolutely. We can't be stopped.
And mental health is coming into the spotlight in modern rap is awesome. There's nothing soft about being real and vulnerable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what's crazy? Being vulnerable is actually the most gangster thing you can do.
It is. It is. That's what Blue Drake.
Talking about not being afraid, yo.
That's what Blue Kanye up. Like Drake, Kanye. That's what made them actually like soar past everybody else, because they were like, "This is who I am. Like it or leave it, and I love it." You know, they just went with it. They were confident in themselves, and it worked.
Come on, man.
Now, Kyle, I have a question for you. You took a social media break in 2019. Mm-hmm. How much was that needed? Because I take them all the time for my mental health.
Me too. Man. Me too.
It was so needed, man. It was so needed. And a lot of, it's funny looking back on it now, a lot of the reasons I took the social media break were like reasons that like the way it was affecting me was completely in my head. And it was all negative. And it was all self-worth shit, because I'm looking at these numbers rise and fall and rise and fall. And like, at the time, like I'm very in this like competitive mode, where I was like, no, I gotta have the next biggest record and all this shit. And you're just looking at your numbers rise and fall on a post, and you're trying to make sure every post hits. And like, it was so much like, I don't know, just especially as like a artist whose value kind of your stock, you can kind of see your stock rise and fall, via social media. And I was just looking at that too much and paying attention to it too much. I noticed I started to care about it too much. Like, I was like, no, Kyle, I'm not supposed to care about how many likes this photo got.
Right.
And it was causing me all this kind of weird, like, self-worth issues. Like, well, damn, I guess I'm not that cool. And it's like, no, that just post didn't do that well, bro. That has nothing to do with who you are as a person. But I was so caught up in that rat race that I decided, like, yeah, I gotta like take a break from this so I can go make some meaningful music and not be so motivated by trying to get more numbers online. And the craziest thing is I look back at those now and I'll like check and be like, damn, that shit had like 7,000 comments, bro. No, it was popping the whole time. You were just scared. You know what I'm saying? You were just in your
head the whole time.
In my head the whole time. And it's funny to look back at those posts and be like, yeah, I had to take a social media break because I felt like my social media wasn't doing well enough. You know, it's like, it's mental, bro. It's like, it's mental. So it was really well needed. And then I went and like lived on the beach for like 4 months. And
that sounds amazing, bro. Being the beach bum.
Bro, it was fire. I mean, well, you know, I had a house on the beach for a second and then, but I was out there all day just making records. And then when I was done with it, I was like, okay, I can get back on there now because I understand it's not your value. Yeah, it's just a picture of you. You know,
these numbers aren't real.
Much value in social media. I do the same thing. Like we content create. I'm a fairly new comic doing stand up, but this algorithm and stuff. Half these views aren't even real half the time. It's an algorithm pushing it to 300 people. If those 300 people interact, they push it to 500. And then so forth and so I try not to get caught up with the numbers. I just keep producing a good product, and then people who need to see it will see it.
Exactly.
Literally, like that. How you just broke that out, bro. I wish a hologram of you had just appeared back then. Like,
I was there in spirit, man.
I know. Like, hey, don't trip. It's just an algorithmic number.
It's not real, man. It's not real. Casey, I want you to talk about. Casey's in Toronto.
Yeah, I've been
to talk about
Ajax is home, but Toronto's where I live. What were you saying, Akil?
You wanted to talk about Kyle's music in Toronto.
We don't get to hear it very much here. Like I went and did the work and listened to you, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's lit. What the hell?
Let's go.
Have you done shows out here? Have you toured here? Like, are you going to be planning on touring here?
Definitely. I do a show in Toronto every time I go on tour, and I've been to Toronto. I've had to perform in Toronto 7 or 8 times.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I love Toronto. I remember the first time I ever did a show in Toronto, right? Like, that was my first time going my first time going to Canada was Vancouver. Mm-hmm. But my first time doing a show in Toronto was hella funny because everybody was like, yeah, man, you know, Canadians are hella nice, like yada, yada, yada.
And you came
snowing and shit. And bro, but you know what's crazy? It was. And we were driving down an alleyway to get to the back of the venue. And I'll never forget, my tour manager just swiped somebody's like mirror clean off, bro. Just demolished their car. Just wham. And we were like, fuck. And then we turned around and the guy like walked out. And he was like, it's okay. He was like, things happen. Bro just told us things happen. And we just kept going, and I was like, wow.
He wants car insurance to skyrocket when he reports it. That's why he's like,
yeah, fact.
Insurance is super expensive.
Yeah, but
Brampton.
I've always liked Toronto, and Toronto also has really, really pretty ladies. Like, oh my god, it's just crazy. Like every time I meet somebody,
don't get hustled.
Yeah, for sure.
The finessers.
You know, it's hard to finesse me because all I got to offer is just jokes and good vibes. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey, I mean, we can dance, but no, I don't know where the Louis store is at. I don't have that.
Yeah, no, this is a beautiful city with beautiful women and people, man. This is people say like other Canadians think that Toronto is like arrogant and all this. We're just confident, you know. We're just confident. That's
Y'all are definitely that. Yeah. There's like, I feel like, and I don't know if it's like a Drake thing. I don't know if he just got everybody acting different. Like, but Toronto people are definitely very like, there's a little bit of we know where the shit like floating around, you know?
From Ajax to Mississauga. But Yeah, no, we had so much talent here that was just not getting the look that it deserves because we were across the border. Like we weren't in America. So like we were always just like, we know Socrates is ill. We know the Smash Brothers. We know all these people are doing their thing. All these artists, Rochester, Division, been out here. You know what I mean? Like guys been making music. So we're like, we know we got it. Y'all just don't know what we have. So when it actually popped for us and everybody started coming out, we're like, this guy's coming next. This guy's coming. So it just it felt nice. So it's been a good feeling. It's been a nice ride that Toronto's on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing for people from Toronto to not feel awesome about. You guys are just killing it.
Music-wise, it's like our sports team is finally doing well. You know what I mean? That's how it felt.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't say anything about sports teams doing well because I'm in North Carolina. And
it's rough.
It's kind of rough out here for the Panthers, bro. Kind of rough, bro.
A little bit. It's okay though. Y'all are gonna bounce back.
How many takes?
Pounding to, bro. Just get one touchdown. We good. Just one. Just one. We ain't pounding nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't no.
I still see the meme with Cam Newton where he's like, "I'm home," and then later it's like Cam Newton later fired. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
The movie on Netflix. What was it like throwing up on Wiz Khalifa?
Man, it's really funny actually. Kind of uncomfortable because I was strapped to like this machine, right? It was like this big like plastic harness thing that had a tube like on the side of my like face like this, right? And it just had hella banana pudding, just a massive like vat of banana pudding. And
that's what it was.
Yeah. And
he just stood there.
The thing is, bruh. And the thing is, I know Wiz, right? And I'm like, I love Wiz to death. I'm like, Wiz is so cool. I'm trying to look as cool as I can. Bruh. And we had to do that scene like 3 times. And so the first time Wiz was like all good. He's like, yeah, no, I'm good, man. He's like very professional, Wiz is like one of the most professional, nicest like dudes ever.
Nice.
And but this is like one of my heroes. So I'm like trying to make sure it's not hella uncomfortable for him. And so I have to turn around and I just throw up all over Wiz Khalifa. They press the button. Like it's going everywhere. And then after like they go, he like he has dreads and shit, so they're cleaning out his hair. And he comes back and you can tell he's just a little less excited for this one. He's still in it. Like he's still in it.
He's like, can you guys warm it a little bit at least? Can you warm it? Like,
he's like
ice cold banana pudding. Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah, he was like still down. And then it happened again. And then we had to go for a third one. And by the time he came back for that one, he was just like, nah. Like I remember him and the director kind of had like a standoff.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to get it the third time. And the director's like, so we're going to do it like one more time. And it was just like, nah,
I'm good.
But like with a smile, he's just like, nah. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, nah. And I was like, damn, man, I hope my hero isn't like hella like, what I'm saying, disgruntled to like.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
This is the favor you asked? Like out of all the things, this is what you asked?
Bro, first interaction with one of my like idols is going to be, hey, sorry, I had to throw up all over the place.
Exactly.
But, he was cool about it. And ever since then, we've been friends. So, shout out to Wiz for being a trooper.
Nice.
Kyle, are we allowed to talk about that anime project you got going on?
I think so now with the writers' strike being over.
Yeah, that's all.
I think so. I'm not positive, but I'm down to give it a whirl. Okay, we can talk about it a little bit.
What's up with this? What's going on?
Yep.
Yeah. So the anime project.
I don't want to say nothing. I'll let you go.
Yeah. No, I got it. I think the writer's strike was the most important part because that's like where development. Screen actors is more like acting and whatnot, and we're not acting for this yet. Hopefully, when the strike is over, we will be acting for it. But the project that I have been developing for mad long is a project called Karaku, right? And it's an anime following a hero whose main power is just his unshakable optimism, right? Like he's really not that guy, but he just will not believe that he's not, And
ready.
Yeah. And the people I've been working on it with is Carl Jones, who's like the executive producer, absolute legend, and has been just like kind of a mentor of mine since like 2018 is when Carl came in. I've been working on, exactly.
What's the show called again? What was the show you did with him?
Sugar
the
and
cartoon.
Toys.
Sugar and Toys. Yeah. It's on YouTube right now. You can watch the full episodes if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah. So we kind of started there, and he really helped me like kind of build a more expansive world and a better story. And then he found JD Samuels, who's an insane writer. She has written for a lot of stuff and worked with Carl on a bunch of stuff. And she wrote on like Family Guy and like epic shows. And she really helped me like crush the story for real. I've got to work with like some really talented people on it. And then last but not least, Colin Kaepernick is an executive producer on it.
Wow.
And he really kind of fell in love with not only anime, he's a huge anime fan, but I think the message behind the story is something that he really gravitated to, which is like a lot of my work is kind of always metaphors and symbolism for the things I've actually experienced in life. And I think like a lot of the message of just not letting the powers that be steal your optimism and steal your joy, you know what I mean? And steal your hope. Because that's really the biggest threat to our own oppressors in our community, is, when they like really just they steal that hope and that optimism from you. And with one like unshakably optimistic person, you can change an entire community. You can change the entire world. So that has a lot to do with it. I won't go too into detail just in case I get called later, like, you're fucking this up. You know what I mean? So...
All right, we'll cut it right here. We'll cut it here. Trouble, man.
So you were signed before,
though. You need the Canadian on there.
Definitely, yep.
All right, we have a comment. Yeah, you want to do this one, Casey?
Yeah.
What was it like to work with Canali before her? I guess you would say stardom, because after that you started working with bigger artists like Yachty and Jesse from NBHD. Okay. It was like a homie kind of vibe, or was it business as usual?
Ironically, all the people they named there was strictly homie vibes. Like I had met Kehlani through mutual friends. We all just kind of had mutual friends. And it was just a time where we were all just living in LA, trying to make it happen, like 2014.
Yeah.
And I met Kehlani then, and she was just really sweet and OD talented and very confident and cool and just like fun to be around and like, really inspiring to be around. She was kind of like,
her Instagram inspires me for research purposes.
She just had really sick like team. She had like team leader vibes. Like
yeah.
So me and my homie Brick, we would kick it with Kehlani all the time, and she would come over and write records at the crib. And working with her before her stardom, which is Kehlani is a superstar. Like everybody in the world loves Kehlani, and I think working with her prior to that happening was cool because I got to see a lot of who she is and who she still is to this day, just in its like rawest form. And like we would talk about songs and all that, but then you would just see her work and you would just be like blown back. Like Kehlani is one of the most insane songwriters like ever. Like she would write some fire shit so fast. And then watching her like, because it was almost like not like a graduating class, but I feel like all of us kids that were here in LA trying to like pop off like in that time, getting to watch her like really have that breakthrough moment and then like grab hold of it, you feel me, and know how to step into being a superstar and like
navigate
the sickest way was always inspiring to me, because I'm like a little shy like sometimes and whatnot, and like just being able to watch her like go to the moon was epic. Like because you got to watch that whole thing, like boom, wow, she's getting super cracking, and now she's even taking it further. So Yeah, it was awesome. And then working with like Lil Yachty and Jesse, all of that was like homie vibes too. Like Jesse, we met on some real homie vibes because me and Jesse are both from Ventura County. Oh. And yeah, he was always same thing, just like uber confident, very like in tune with what he's trying to do and felt very comfortable, you know, like team leader vibes too. And funny as hell and a really good freestyler. He used to like be freestyling all the time. And just super sweet. I got lucky. I got lucky with befriending artists who just happen to be superstars. You know?
Sushi freestyle is fire.
Yep. Yo, and Jesse really freestyled that shit on the spot, just going. Like, for no reason. Just went for it.
Now, what's like your go-to spot to eat in Ventura? Like, I'm a foodie on the
Okay. Low. Yeah. I got you. Go-to spot. Okay. All right, what do you feel? Whatever. Go-to spot, if you're in Ventura, you need to go to Corrales and you need to go get you a burrito, preferably a chorizo breakfast burrito with potatoes and cheese. Don't skim any of that. Go get that. And then if you're feeling like more of like a lunch vibe, you got to go to Spencer McKenzie's and you got to get their Parmesan shell shrimp tacos, bro. All right, and you need to put the hottest sauce on there. There's a level of sauces. Get the hottest one and enjoy.
Okay. I feel like we should give one for each city. So for me, North Carolina, I'm gonna say Cookout. Get you a Cookout tray. You can never go wrong with a Cookout tray.
Cookout, as in like the fast food cookout thing?
Yeah, fast food. Yeah. Okay. Right. They have that in California, or is there?
Nah, but I've eaten at a Cookout before, and I saw 46 items from all different arrays.
Yeah, it's just a list of food. Just a list. It's a list
that you would find at a Cookout or something. It was fire. Yeah. It was fire.
I had a watermelon milkshake. It was amazing, bro. I wasn't ready for it.
Nice.
Wow. I wasn't ready for it. So yeah, Cookout tray. You can't go wrong with that. And then if you're in Greensboro or if you're in Durham, Dame's Chicken and Waffles. They have like it's a butter, but they mix the butter with a fruit, and you put that fruit butter on your waffle on top of the syrup. It's next level.
Okay.
Casey, what's your go-to place in Toronto?
I'd say Scarborough Chris's Jerk. It's pretty dope. Mona's. That's another lit spot. There's so many restaurants by us. The Wingstop is amazing. Mm-hmm. And Ajax has so many restaurants and so many spots you could just bump into something dope because it's so much culture. There's Filipinos, Indians, everything Italian. So when you're going to places here, it's like everything they're trying to do it better than what they remember it tasted like in their countries. So Toronto has so much restaurants. Ah, man, I can't even say them all right now. But yeah, I would say check Ajax area, check King Street downtown. There's a whole line of restaurants that are there.
Island Mix
off the top. Island Mix is good. But I've been going there so much it tastes like water to me now. So, but Island Mix,
go to Island Mix, bro. Beautiful
Island Mix is up there.
Delicious,
but
food.
I would say Mona's in Scarborough for sure. Mona's got the best doubles, roti all across the board.
Yeah, look at the comment section. Them Cookout trays are top notch.
Top notch value.
Right.
That's great for a late night. For a late night of drinking and coming back, Cookout was great for that.
Can't go wrong with Cookout. Y'all thought I was tapping, man. Y'all know.
Cookout slaps.
Yeah. You get a cheese dog.
Questions? I don't want to take up all Kyle's time.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. It's an amazing time. It's a great conversation. Grateful for you to be here, man. This is great.
Thank you for sharing your time with us, Kyle. Let them know what you have coming up next and where people can reach you.
Got you. Yeah, y'all can follow me on Instagram and anything actually at Super Duper Kyle. Okay, Super Duper Kyle. Come say hi. And I got a new album on the way. Okay,
nice.
New album is on the way, and you're gonna love it. It's a sequel. So that's all I'll give about it. But
is it R&B Kyle?
Oh no. This is a nerd rapping Kyle. This is video game bars. And like, some up-tempo records too. You know, we got some dance bars. We definitely got Pokemon bars. We got we even got a Elden Ring bars. We got bars for shit. You know, we got some real.
Damn, Elden Ring, bro. I don't think I'm ready for that one.
Yeah.
I love that game. That's my game right there.
Ready for
what video games are you playing right now? I know we're almost
game.
Yeah,
I'm right now. I'm all the way in on Assassin's Creed Mirage.
I am too, but it feels mediocre, bro. Like I started playing Cyberpunk 2077 since they did patch 2.0. Having the time of my life, bro.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna check that out because I got that and it was a little weak at first, but
it was weak. But they fully revamped the game. They built it up from the ground up. I got the Phantom Liberty DLC with Idris Elba in there.
Okay.
Best game I've played in a long time, bro. I had to put down Mirage.
Okay, I'm a Pete.
Yeah.
I won't lead you astray. One last question, man. I want to know what's your starting Pokemon.
Pokemon?
I want to know like who you starting with. You could give me whatever game. Just let me who you starting with.
I am always trying to start with Squirtle every time.
Woo!
If I can, I want Squirtle because I want that Blastoise. All right. And then I'm about to hit the ocean, bro, and just go.
Y'all heard the first. Kyle likes it wet out here in these streets.
Kyle
likes it wet out here.
You know what I mean?
Out here.
Shut up. Shout out Squirtle.
That's our time. Thank you again, Kyle, for being on the podcast.
Sir.
Guys, this is the Bacchanal Podcast. We'll see you again next time. Peace.
See ya. Thanks, y'all.